Here you can see week one's materials. Basically, week one's materials, they explain and give you some more information as far as what's, being done in week one. The other thing that's very important is you'll see under each week, we have week one's vocabulary, we'll have week two vocabulary, and so forth. These are all words to do with what we're learning about in the first week, for instance. You have a glossary here that helps you be able to look these up. And why we put this here? Well, all the quiz questions basically come from the vocabulary. So once you start understanding the lingo, which is extremely important, you'll be able to answer those questions very easily. So what I recommend for you guys to do before the actual quiz is just kind of look up these words, start understanding what they mean. Some of them you've probably even heard. You could use the glossary that we give you, or another method is definitely, it's basically open book, so you could use Google. But I do recommend for you guys is, for instance, if you're going to Google bounce, put audio in front of it. Otherwise, it's going to give you something like bouncy houses or something. So just put audio in front of it. Audio cardioid, audio condenser microphones, audio DAW. That way, the correct terminology will pop up as far as in your Google search. Otherwise, who knows what you'll get. Like On Axis. I know that there was a magazine called On Axis that might pop up, and then you would have no clue what in the world we were talking about. So just put audio, the word audio in front of it, and it usually straightens it out and gives you correct definitions on Google. So that's just a recommendation, and you should be able to find most of the stuff already in the glossary here that you can download. So once you've kind of looked at that, gone through it, you can do the quiz. The quizzes are pretty simple. As you can notice, they're either 10 or 15 questions, so not very many. And again, they're all going back to the vocabularies. The first assignment that is graded is the quiz. You can just hover over any of the different assignments and you'll see when it's due. Like for instance here, you can see this is due in 1 day, 5 hours, 7 minutes. It's on Wednesday. So it tells you, okay, this is coming up. The first time that you get to have to turn something in, and it's not a quiz, is due in 2 days, 5 hours. And it's the audio file formats. In other words, data compression. Something very important that you're going to learn about as far as in your career is audio quality. We as professionals want to give the best quality possible. And this is something we're going to have to deal with, is understanding data compression. And understanding, in other words, how MP3s work, how the AAC formats are. You'll see them as M4A as far as your file. So this is what this article and what we have you actually do is talking about, and you get to listen and hear all these different type of ways how that data compression works. So we have you download the audio file format, Logic file. I've already downloaded it. It's right here. We also give you a audio file formats assignment PDF. It's kind of like a step-by-step telling you what you need to do. I also kind of put the instructions here as well. So you have a couple places to be able to get the instructions. This one really goes in depth, shows you exactly what to push for everything. If you've never used Logic, I definitely recommend jumping onto this instructions. If you've used Logic before, then you could use the simplified version. But this one really walks you through, showing you pictures and everything as far as in Logic what you need to do. You will go, after you've downloaded that file, you'll just click on this. This takes you right to the article. We found that this article is amazing as far as explaining what data compression does to your music. And I've been using it because of it. It's just, I probably couldn't do a better job. And it walks you through everything. Now, the cool thing is with the audio files that are in your Logic file, let me open that up real quick. You guys will see audio example A, B, C, so forth. All you need to do is, in the article, you'll see it talks about examples. Like this is audio example A, and we preset it up for you so that way you could just solo. You don't have to download anything or anything else. Just hit play, and it's playing what they're talking about, and you could hear how much change, for instance, different compression ratios make. Now, this is talking about data compression. I want to make sure you guys understand there is a difference between audio compression and data compression, and we'll be showing you both. You'll be learning about audio compression a little later with the immersive part 2 assignment. But for now, we're going to be talking about data compression and how it really makes a difference. So just follow along. You read the article. It doesn't take a whole long time unless you really get into it and do this assignment. Just follow along. In here, we show you a little video I put together. It's a Logic Pro bouncing down to MP3. Shows you how in Logic to physically bounce down or create an MP3 of your session. So this is going to explain that. Also, how to save your Logic files. I did a little video there for you guys who haven't used Logic whatsoever. These 2 videos will be extremely helpful. The other thing to view on any assignment is you'll notice that towards the end of the assignment, I always have this grading checklist. The grading checklist is what myself and all the other instructors will actually use to grade your assignment. So this will help you know exactly what we're looking for to make sure that you've actually done these assignments and have, you know, data to give us so we can look at it to help you as far as understanding. Like, for instance, there's one where we actually ask you to physically create a recording, and we get to hear this recording, and we'll point out to you, you know, hey, this levels weren't done right. I noticed that this was done incorrectly, and we'll point these things out to help you understand and really truly get the concepts. So always use this grading checklist to help you out as to what's happening. Like, for instance, with this one, you'll notice it says bounced and uploaded to ACC file of the test song. Also bounced and uploaded the 2 MP3 files of that test song. We're also going to have you write a 200-word paragraph written about the subject matter. And lastly, we're going to have on every assignment, we do this just as to get you in the habit of what we call file management. File management is you know, very important to your career. You're going to have to constantly be saving different versions and so forth in different ways. We explain how to do all those things so that way you start getting into this habit of always labeling things and doing everything. I don't know how much I could stress this, how important it is. If you're working on your own stuff and you walk away, you know, 6 months later, you come back to this project, if things aren't labeled, you will go nuts trying to figure out where you were at and what each track is and so forth. Or nothing worse than also getting a project from somebody else. And this has happened to me many times. Well, I've been engineering. They send me a project and you'll see, like for instance here, everything will be labeled audio. Okay, so what am I looking at? I have no clue as to where the vocals are, no clue where the drums are, no clue where any sound is because nothing is labeled. So this is all about file management as far as why we have you guys send us the Logic files. The other thing that the Logic files do for us is we're able to physically see what was done to see if we can help you or give you advice as to how you're using the compressor, how to help you use it better and so forth. So these things are all here for us to be able to help you truly understand the subject matter. Alright, real quick, I'm going to just go over on this one. Once you've read the article, you've listened to these different audio files, you'll notice at the very end, I have this test song. I could have just hit solo over here. Hit play. You either have the play button here, or a quick way of doing this is just hit the space bar. Now, hit the space bar again, it stops it, but you're able to hear what you're actually soloing. By hitting solo, I don't play all the other tracks. That's one thing. On this one, this is not a song, so each one, individual one of these could be a song on its own or just a sound to show you stuff. Don't hit solo on all of them and hit play, because it'll just be a big jumbled mess of audio. The song that you guys hear is the test song. This is actually your mix 1 and 2 assignment. You'll get to mix this song yourself as well. As we show you the tools, we have you actually mix a song, so that way we get to see you implementing all the tools that we're going to be showing you. The test song, it's already mixed here. We're using it now to show you as far as, okay, well, let's say you spent hours and hours mixing this song, and it sounds great. You're happy with the way it mixes, sounds in Logic. Logic is an uncompressed format that it's playing back in. Now I need to compress it to an MP3, or data compress, I should point out. So I'm going to leave that solo because that's all I want to bounce down. And there's 2 methods to bounce. You can see under here, File, Bounce, and then Project or Selection. That's one method. The other method is, you'll notice right here it says stereo out, and we've got a nice little button right here that says bounce. So I'm going to bounce down what the stereo out is. That pops up this window. You'll see you could select right here PCM. You'll learn what a PCM is an uncompressed audio file format. If I click on that, you'll see AFF, wave file. Those are the 2 most standard. Wave file, probably the most standard. AFF is more of Apple's. It started off as an Apple file format, but it's become universal as well. The PCM format, we're not going to be bouncing down. This is what you would use if, let's say, you are putting out a physical CD. But anytime you're going to the web or anything else, it's probably going to be an MP3 or this M4A format. This is the newest one, M4A, and many people say it's the better one. But we need to understand all our different formats, because you just never know what you're going to be mixing to. You'll be learning about this as well for mastering. But back to bouncing it down. So I've selected, I want to make it an MP3. Click on MP3. Here is where you change your data rate, your bit rate. You can see there's quite a few different types of MP3. I'm going to go ahead and select the lowest. Hit OK. Call this low. Okay. I'm going to put it onto the desktop. Hit bounce. You can see it converts it and creates my MP3. Now I'm going to come over here again, and I'm going to bounce it down again. This time I'll go this way. I want MP3 again, so make sure you've got that selected. And over here I'm going to choose the highest quality. Hit OK. I'm going to just name it quickly high, so none of those high quality. As you can see, it bounces it down, then converts it or compresses it, data compression, down to my other file, which is now called high.mp3. If you want to, one thing I do recommend for everybody always to do is, once you've bounced down your project, whether it's something as simple as this assignment, or you actually spent hours recording something and you want to go ahead and listen to it, is take that MP3, you can hit your space bar, and you'll see it opens up, and you can play it. Now, hopefully you guys are hearing this. You heard how bad that sounds. Now let's play the high quality. You heard a huge difference there, and it's all got to do with space. As you guys read through the article, you'll learn about how YouTube and SoundCloud and all these different things, they have their own, versions and maximum limits as far as space, and that's how they do it. But they ruin sometimes your songs. So if you, let's say you basically grabbed your song, put it to the low quality, send it to them, and then they do again a compression, because they will grab and compress anything that they receive and do the same thing, compress it again, you will get these audio formats, or I should say audio files, that sound horrible. So as professionals, we try to get the highest quality. I would recommend is always bounce down at the highest, unless you're actually being hired and they want to have a low quality one small size. Let's say you are doing music for a gift card. Have you ever opened up those gift cards where they play music? That is a very small amount of memory that those gift cards have. They don't want to put any kind of large amount of memory, because then it would just be too expensive. So you would actually have to mix your song slightly different and understand how to master it, which you'll learn about later, so that way you could squish it down to a point where it still sounds decent enough to be on one of those gift cards that you open up and it plays music. Or if you're sending it, hey, this is going to be a YouTube video and you want to make it as high quality as possible. So understanding all this, that's what this assignment is about. You get to actually hear these things, and you'll be reading about it and really understanding it. I felt it was important enough to make it the first assignment for you guys to really start understanding. As you are becoming professionals, we need to really pay attention to where we're compressing, where we're sending the files, and what our limitations are. Understanding that there are more than just one style of MP3. You'll be able to, send the correct file to the client to where it's the highest quality you can. Maybe if it's a gift card, you could send them the low quality, saying, here's the one for the gift card itself, but wanted you to hear how the mix truly sounded in the studio, and you give them the higher quality one for them to be able to hear and say, yes, I like it, let's go with it. We're going to put them into the gift cards. All right, so that's the first assignment. And again, you got to see how to bounce down stuff. I have the videos here that you could go see as well. This will help you as far as learning. And remember, read through the instructions. The instructions quite often are very step-by-step to help you guys. If you still are lost, you're more than welcome to send us an email, and we will try to explain it even more.